Have you ever had the quiet feeling that something in your daily life, something small, even invisible, might be holding you back? Not in a dramatic way, but in the slow, silent way that creeps in as the years go by. Maybe it's a routine you never questioned, a belief you picked up along the way, or a way of thinking that no longer serves you. For many people over 60, these old habits start to chip away at our well-being without us even realizing it. And here's the truth that most people won't say out loud: what seemed harmless in your 40s or 50s can quietly become dangerous in your 60s and beyond. The same behaviors we used to brush off, ignoring how we feel, putting everyone else first, staying silent to avoid conflict, can now drain our energy cloud, our minds, and take years off our lives. According to the CDC, social isolation in seniors significantly increases the risk of dementia, heart disease, and early death. That's not just a statistic, it's a wake-up call. But here's the good news: it's not too late. In fact, it might be the perfect time. Because when you start to live healthy after 50, when you really examine the hidden patterns affecting your senior health, you don't just add years to your life, you add life to your years. These are the years for healthy aging, for rediscovery, for joy. And it starts with awareness. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through 7 critical things you need to stop doing starting today. These habits might be silently stealing your energy, your confidence, and even your happiness. But once you know what they are, you can take control again. You can start building daily habits for longevity, reclaiming over 60 wellness, and living with the clarity and peace you deserve. If you're ready to feel stronger, freer, and more connected to the life you want to live, don't just watch, join me. Like this video if you're here to grow. Subscribe to our channel, Live Healthy After 50, for more insights into natural health for seniors and practical longevity tips. Before we begin, I want to hear from you. What's one habit you've been questioning lately? Share it in the comments. Your story could help someone else feel less alone. Now let's dive in, because the next few minutes could change how you live the rest of your life. Number 1, stop silencing yourself just to keep the peace. There's a cost to keeping quiet that most people don't talk about. It doesn't happen all at once. It starts with small things: agreeing with someone just to avoid an argument, letting a comment slide that didn't sit right with you, nodding along when deep down you feel differently. At first it seems harmless, maybe even kind, but over time something subtle and serious begins to happen. You start disappearing from your own life. Many older adults fall into this trap without realizing it, especially after retirement, when roles shift and families grow up. The instinct to keep the peace at all costs becomes stronger. You tell yourself it's not worth the fight, that your opinion doesn't matter as much as it used to. But here's the truth: silencing yourself doesn't create peace. It creates resentment. And worse, it chips away at your identity. Take Helen from Nebraska. She's 68. For decades, she was the rock of her family, the one who said yes no matter what it cost her. She kept quiet to avoid upsetting her kids, agreed with doctors, even when her gut said otherwise, and bit her tongue when friends made comments that didn't sit right. She told herself she was being patient, kind. But what she was really doing was giving away her voice piece by piece. By the time she hit her mid-60s, Helen didn't feel like herself anymore. She felt invisible. That's when she realized the high price of always saying yes when she meant no. Her story isn't unique, and if it sounds familiar, it's because so many people over 50 have lived it in some form. This stage of life should be about living boldly, not shrinking to keep others comfortable. Aging gracefully doesn't mean staying quiet. It means stepping into your power with all the wisdom and experience you've earned. Your voice is valuable. Your perspective is needed. And when you start using it again, something remarkable happens. You begin to feel like you again. Studies show that older adults who advocate for themselves and speak their truth experience better emotional well-being and lower rates of depression. That's not a coincidence. Your self-worth is directly tied to whether or not you feel heard. That's why this isn't just emotional, it's medical. Speaking up is part of living healthy after 50. So stop silencing yourself. Say what needs to be said, not with anger, but with clarity, calm, and confidence. Whether it's a conversation with a doctor, a boundary with family, or simply expressing what you need, your voice matters. This is one of the most powerful doctor tips for older adults: protect your identity by protecting your voice. And remember, aging doesn't mean fading away. It means becoming more fully who you are. So number 2, stop isolating yourself socially. There's a kind of loneliness that doesn't announce itself. It builds quietly, one missed phone call, one event you decide to skip, one friend who moves away and isn't replaced. At first it feels like rest, like you're just taking time for yourself. But over weeks and months, that quiet becomes something else. It becomes isolation. And that's where the real danger begins. Loneliness isn't just a feeling, it changes your health. According to the National Institute on Aging, chronic social isolation increases the risk of dementia by nearly 50%. It raises the chance of heart disease, stroke, and early death. And for older adults, it can even be more harmful than obesity or smoking. That's not just emotional, that's medical. Ben is 72 and lives outside of Asheville, North Carolina. After his wife passed, he slowly pulled back. He stopped going to the community center, stopped checking in with his neighbors, told himself he just needed time. But that time turned into 2 years. His days grew quiet, his thoughts heavier. It wasn't until a friend dragged him to a weekly coffee group that things began to shift. Just 1 hour of laughter and stories cracked open something he didn't realize: he was missing connection. Social connection is a pillar of natural health for seniors. It protects your brain, lifts your mood, and keeps your immune system strong. And it doesn't require a crowd. One real conversation, one walk with a friend, one game night at the church hall. That's all it takes to begin reversing the toll that isolation takes. If you found yourself staying home more, telling yourself it's easier this way, take a moment to ask easier for whom loneliness may feel like safety, but it's robbing you of life's most powerful medicine, human connection. Senior health tips often focus on diet and exercise, and yes, those matter. But so does companionship, so does laughter, so does feeling like you still belong to something. Because you do. You are still needed. Your presence matters. Your stories matter. The people around you, whether they say it or not, are better because you're in their lives. So take that first small step. Call a friend. Visit a neighbor. Show up. Not just for them, but for you. That's how you prevent aging diseases. That's how you stay strong in body and in spirit. And that's how you live not just longer, but better. 3, stop neglecting your health because it's too late. One of the most harmful lies we tell ourselves as we get older is this: it's too late to change anything now. That belief doesn't just keep people stuck. It steals years of life. It makes people sit still when they should be moving, makes them give up when their best days could still be ahead. The truth is the body's always listening. No matter your age, it responds to what you do today. Gloria, 74, lives in rural Arizona. For decades, she figured her time to focus on health had passed. She ate whatever was easiest, skipped her checkups, told herself that getting older meant giving up certain joys. But a fall in her driveway changed everything. Her doctor told her something that finally broke through. You don't need to be 30 again. You just need to stay strong enough to keep living the life you love. So she started small. A short walk to the mailbox each morning, swapping one sugary snack for fresh fruit, drinking more water, and within weeks she felt it more steady on her feet, more energy in the afternoons, even fewer aches in the morning. She wasn't trying to turn back the clock. She was moving forward, but with more strength and peace. Healthy aging isn't about perfection. It's about daily habits for longevity. Small choices taken seriously build real momentum. Choosing whole foods instead of processed meals, standing and stretching every hour, getting outside for fresh air. These steps aren't dramatic, but they are powerful. They send a message to your body: I still care. I'm still here. The Senior Nutrition Guide doesn't require anything fancy, just real simple food. Lean proteins, colorful vegetables, good fats. And yes, you can still enjoy your favorites, just with balance. What matters most is consistency. Studies from Harvard show that adults over 65 who stay active and follow basic healthy eating patterns reduce their risk of heart disease, stroke, and diabetes by up to 80%. That's not theory, that's fact. It's never too late to walk a little more, eat a little better, rest a little deeper. Every good choice adds up. Every day you invest in your health brings you more energy, more confidence, and more independence. So don't wait for a crisis. Don't wait for a diagnosis. The time to care for yourself is now, not to rewind the past, but to fully enjoy what's ahead. You deserve to feel well. You deserve to live fully. And it starts with one decision today. Our 4, stop ignoring your physical and emotional limits. There's a quiet pressure that many people feel as they get older to prove they're still strong, still capable, still just fine. It shows up in small ways. Lifting a box that's too heavy, skipping rest because you don't want to seem lazy, smiling through pain so you don't burden anyone. But ignoring your limits doesn't make you tough. It puts you in danger. When Roger, 67, from Dayton, Ohio, insisted on repairing his own roof instead of asking for help, he told himself he was being independent. He ended up in the ER with a fractured rib. He said it felt worse to admit he couldn't do it alone than to fall. That mindset is common and costly. We're often taught to push through, to be strong, but strength isn't found in pretending nothing has changed. Real strength comes from knowing when to pause, when to ask for help, when to say, that's enough for today. Listening to your limits isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It protects you, and it's one of the most overlooked longevity secrets. The people who live the longest and healthiest aren't the ones who ignore their bodies. They're the ones who know when to slow down, who adjust, who protect their energy so they can keep enjoying the things that matter most. It's no surprise that falls are the leading cause of injury for older adults, according to the CDC. Most of them happen during everyday tasks, reaching too far, walking too fast, lifting too much. Not because the task is extreme, but because the warning signs were ignored. Honoring your emotional limits matters just as much. Carrying too much stress, saying yes to everything, pushing yourself when you're mentally exhausted. Over time, that stress shows up in the body, in blood pressure, in sleep, in inflammation. That's why natural approaches like senior home remedies for calming the nervous system, such as gentle herbal teas, mindful breathing, or warm foot soaks, can make a real difference. Taking care of yourself doesn't mean giving up. It means adapting, choosing rest over risk, support over stubbornness. You're not who you were at 30, and that's okay. You're wiser now. You've earned the right to live at your own pace. So if your body says slow down, listen. If your heart says you're stretched too thin, pause. This stage of life is not a race. It's a chapter meant to be lived with clarity, comfort, and peace. That's not giving in. That's growing strong. Thugger 5, stop living in the past. Memory is a powerful thing. It can comfort you, guide you, even give meaning to the life you've lived. But when you start spending more time looking backward than forward, those same memories can quietly become chains. And without realizing it, they can hold you in place. Martha, 70, from Kansas City, used to say her happiest years were behind her. She'd lost her husband, her kids had moved states away, and most of her days were spent watching TV reruns of the shows she used to love. One day she caught herself thinking that her life had already peaked, that she was just waiting out the rest. That thought scared her more than anything. The past has value, but it isn't where life happens. And no matter your age, life is still happening. The most dangerous myth many seniors believe is that the best has already come and gone. But that simply isn't true. The best day of your life might still be ahead, if you're open to it. Living healthy after 50 isn't just about what you eat or how you move. It's about how you think. When you cling too tightly to what was, you miss out on what is and what could be. That's why part of aging gracefully advice includes this simple but powerful truth. You can't rewrite the past, but you can create new stories. There are moments waiting to be lived. A new hobby, a new friendship, a new place to see. The joy of watching your grandchild take their first steps. The quiet beauty of learning to paint, even if your hands shake. These aren't leftovers from a full life. They are your life, right now. According to the American Psychological Association, older adults who engage in new experiences report higher life satisfaction, better brain health, and even improved mobility. Why? Because they're not just surviving, they're still growing. Senior health isn't just about tests and checkups. It's also about purpose, about having something to look forward to, something to talk about, something to feel proud of. So don't let the past be the final chapter. Let it be the foundation. You have more to say, more to do, and more to feel. The page is blank again. Pick up the pen. 6, stop sacrificing your happiness for everyone else. It's one of the hardest habits to break, always putting others first. For years, maybe even decades, you've been the caretaker, the one who says yes when you're exhausted, the one who makes sure everyone else is okay before thinking about yourself. At first, it feels like love, like duty, but over time, it becomes something else. It becomes self-erasure. Linda, 66, from Roanoke, Virginia, raised 3 kids, cared for her aging parents, and now helps with her grandchildren every week. She cooks, she drives, she babysits, and she does it all with a smile. But at night when the house is quiet, she feels something she can't shake, worn out, invisible, like she disappeared behind all the roles she plays. That's what happens when you give without refilling. Constant giving without self-care doesn't just exhaust your body, it drains your spirit. And the truth is, no one can sustain that forever. Healthy aging means learning to set boundaries. It means saying no when you're running on empty. It means realizing that your happiness isn't a luxury, it's a need. The people who truly love you don't want you to burn out. They want you whole. They want you well. According to the Mayo Clinic, chronic stress and emotional burnout are directly linked to weakened immune function, increased inflammation, and higher risk of heart disease in older adults. Those aren't just emotional effects. That's your body asking you to stop, to breathe, to protect yourself. So here's one of the most important senior health tips I can give you. Take your needs seriously. Block off time for rest. Say yes only when it feels right. Let others carry their share. You've earned the right to live with peace. You don't have to stop caring for others, but you must care for yourself too. Make time for your hobbies. Enjoy a quiet afternoon without guilt. Laugh with a friend. Take a walk alone. These aren't selfish moments, they're fuel. They're what keep you strong enough to show up when it truly matters. You've spent so much of your life making others happy. Now it's time to ask what brings you joy, because you deserve to feel it every single day. Number 7, stop avoiding intimacy because of age. There's a quiet myth that follows people as they grow older, that intimacy fades with age, that desire has a deadline, that after a certain point closeness, touch, and passion are no longer part of your story. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Intimacy doesn't belong to the young. It belongs to anyone who values connection, anyone who still feels joy in a gentle touch, anyone who longs to be seen not just with the eyes but with the heart. David, 71, from Portland, spent 6 years living alone after his wife passed. He told himself those days were behind him, that love, affection, and physical closeness were no longer for him, until he met someone at a local art class. They started talking, then laughing, then spending afternoons walking through the park, hands quietly held. And with time, he realized he wasn't too old. He was just out of practice. Over 60 wellness isn't just about blood pressure and balance. It's also about staying emotionally and physically connected to the things that make life feel full. Intimacy is part of that, a big part. Sexual health in older adults is often overlooked, but it matters. According to the National Institutes of Health, maintaining healthy sexual relationships in later years is linked to better mood, lower stress, improved immune function, and even longer life expectancy. This is not just about physical pleasure, it's about connection, comfort, confidence. Your body may have changed, but that doesn't mean intimacy disappears. In fact, for many, it becomes deeper, more meaningful. It's no longer about performance, it's about trust, warmth, shared moments that bring peace instead of pressure. Natural health for seniors includes emotional wellness, and intimacy plays a powerful role. Whether it's through conversation, gentle touch, or physical closeness, these connections can bring joy well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Here's one of the best doctor tips for older adults. Don't let outdated beliefs define what's possible. You are still a whole person with feelings, needs, and the right to feel closeness. Give yourself permission to explore that again. Whether you're with a longtime partner or someone new, intimacy can still be a beautiful part of your life, not in spite of your age, but because of it. These 7 habits may seem small, but over time they quietly take a toll. They don't just affect your health, they can dim your joy, blur your purpose, and make you forget how much your life still matters. But here's the truth, it's never too late to choose differently, to take your power back, to live with more clarity, strength, and peace. The stage of life isn't about slowing down, it's about living smarter with intention. Your voice, your well-being, your happiness, they still matter. And the world still needs your presence, your stories, and your light. So which habit are you ready to leave behind? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's support each other on this journey to live healthy after 50 with daily habits for longevity, natural health for seniors, and the courage to age with purpose. If this video gave you something to think about, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Your support helps us keep sharing simple, powerful longevity tips and reminds YouTube to show this to others who may need it.